What is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another video here on the Freak Flyers YouTube channel. And today we're going to be doing a totally serious video about the best first wings. So this is going to be that first wing you buy after you stop using your rental gear. Should have about a B or C license, and these are some very nice wings to buy as a first wing, as I mentioned on the title and on the beginning of the video. So without further ado, let's get started. So number one on our list of best first wings, we have of course the JPX Petra. Icarus Canopies and of course the company and New Zealand Aerosports have worked really hard along the years to create the most docile canopies we can know, and the Petra is one of the main examples. Usually found in big sizes such as 69, 60, 57 square feet, this canopy is really the best way to get into canopies and to get into skydiving in general, to build your first rig. It's a very docile canopy. It's not too sensitive, but it's also not so slow where you won't be able to grow into it. You'll always have enough speed just when you need it. The toggles aren't too sensitive, the rears aren't too sensitive, and the fronts are light, and it's a canopy that will have very nice openings, even for beginners. Amazing openings for beginners. Not a lot if it does have line twists, it's easy enough to solve. If you do pack it poorly and you have a line over, it's going to be really easy to solve it as well. Now, in terms of pricing, they're really cheap too, because these are beginner canopies, so they're made for people entering the sport. So you'll find them in the relatively cheap, or rather extremely cheap prices of $4,000 plus tax in Europe, so about 5,000 euros if you're importing it, which again isn't at all expensive if you're a doctor or a lawyer, like all skydivers are, of course. We are all rich skydivers. And of course, those peasants buy other cheap canopies. And yeah, as I mentioned, Petra, you can find them usually for sale used. There are a lot of canopies of Petras for sale used. And if you don't find used, just purchase it new. On to our second contestant. Now, this second one on the list is more for those who are a little bit scared of speed and that want a more broad range that they can get with their canopies. The second canopy on the list of best beginner canopies is the Leia. Amazing. The Leia is just like the Petra, but the Petra is a little bit faster and the Leia is a little bit slower, which means it's going to be perfect for those people who want to do camera flying with big cameras. If you want to do wingsuiting, it's going to be good. I think you can even, if you have like maybe an A license and you want to already get into wings, maybe you can get a Leia, as long as it's like a big Leia, like maybe an 80 square foot Leia. Definitely you should get it in the between 90 and 80 square feet if you have like an A license. That would be good. And they're cheaper than the Petra because they have like a different fabric, and they're found in usually bigger sizes too. But they aren't too big where it's super slow. But again, it is a slow canopy compared to the Petra, so you're not going to be pulling as much ladies as you will with a Petra, if you know what I mean, guys. So, what I recommend is actually get both of them. Get a Petra and a Leia as your first wing, and just change them every jump. You know, every jump. If you have a B or A license, or even C if you're like a pro and you have a C license, just change it every jump. You're not going to make mistakes assembling the three-ring system. That's for beginners. You're no beginner. You have a C license. On to our third entry, which is going to be a old JVX. Ah yes, old JVX. Don't you just love it to be a beginner and have to experiment with your wings? So just get an old JVX. Just go on the forums, go on dropzone.com, or go on Facebook sales groups and buy yourself an old JVX. And trust me, those old canopies, they have amazing openings. I think you can even wingsuit with a JVX. I'm pretty sure I saw someone doing it in my drop zone. So you should definitely pick up a JVX if you want to have even a slower canopy compared to the Leia. The JVX is going to have not as good openings as the Leia, again, because it's an older canopy, and it's not going to be as fast as the Petra, again, because it's an older canopy. Now you have two models, full sail and non-full sail. I don't know the difference, but there should be some difference, I guess. Look it up. But yeah, it's good for a B license. Even like if you halfway between your A license and your B license, you'd be able to get an old JVX. Now, something that the JVX is good is that it's going to teach you a lot about rigging, because of course you're not going to send your old JVX to do a line set, to change its line set on a rigger, because you're not going to spend money. Since you're buying a JVX, you're poor, so if you wanted to spend money, you'd buy a Leia, but you don't want to spend money, so you don't want to send it to the rigger. So what you do the line set yourself. Go to your local hardware store and just buy a bunch of Paracord. That's why it's called Paracord, is to use on parachutes. And just do more or less the same size as the last lines, and you should be good to go. I mean, if you break a line on load 5, you'll be on load 8, no problem. Just get a friend to help you, you'll be on backup. No, if you're doing hop and pops, that is. Now, something also to take in consideration is you might have some holes, because skydivers, they smoke near their canopies and they burn holes in their canopies and they rip their canopies everywhere. So what you should do is also buy a little bit of duct tape, so that you can duct tape those holes closed, so that you have the most performance. And if it has a big gash, like maybe a 10 centimeter or bigger, instead of duct tape, you actually pick up a bit like some sewing kit, some cotton line and a sewing kit, and you can just stitch it together like it's a shirt. It's really not that big of a deal. There's so much fabric in there that it's not going to make a difference. And then just put some duct tape on top and you'll be good to go on the next load. Now, on our third entry is your grandmother's bed sheets. Ah, yes. So you don't want to spend money on a Petra nor a Leia nor a JVX. Well, if you have a grandmother, or if you don't have a grandmother anymore, you can borrow or steal some bed sheets. Yes, bed sheets are amazing for canopies. Not as reserve canopies usually. Usually for reserve canopies, I prefer to use a homeless person's bed sheet. So I steal from a homeless person and I use their bed sheets. But as a main, I use my grandmother's bed sheets. I steal it. Now, if she has a double bed, it's going to be like a bigger wing, so you might be able to use it, for instance, as a student canopy, if you're less experienced, or if you just want a slower ride, or you also might be able to use it for wingsuit. Now, if she has a single bed, which isn't too common, those cougars out there have those single beds, you might find one. Actually, cougars shouldn't have single beds. What am I saying? Never mind. If your grandmother does have single beds, you'll have those small sheets, and they're the best to start your swooping. They're going to be just the speed between a JVX and a Petra, in the middle, just like the Leia, where it's not too fast, but it's not too slow. You're always going to be coming down fast with those bed sheets on top of you. Don't worry about that. And if it does have, again, holes or even stains from those naughty grandmas, you can always, again, clean it with bleach. Yeah, bleach is a good cleaning product for canopies. And of course, you can fix it with, again, cotton line and tape. And moving on to our final entry, and this one, guys, I gotta admit, I wasn't sure if I was going to include it as a beginner canopy, because, you have to be careful what you suggest to beginners, because beginners, they overestimate their capacities and they might just get a crazy canopy. So our last entry is going to be for those of you who are interested in wingsuiting. It's going to be a JVX. Now, the JVX, especially the JVX2 for you rich folks, is going to be 7 cells. And as we all know, 7 cell canopies are the best for wingsuiting. So yeah, just get like a big JVX, like a huge, like maybe 90 square foot, like huge, and just use it for wingsuiting. And you can also use it on your day-to-day jumps. And something that I hear a lot in the DZ is that you can use your JFX in base jumping too. So you can pack your JFX 90 into a base rig that you buy on the forums as well, and it will be amazing for wingsuiting. But there is a catch. You can't use a slider. You have to remove the slider. So you have to wrench around in the little links and take out the slider. But other than that, it's good to go for wingsuiting, wingsuit base jumping, I guess. So again, I was just talking to this friend of mine. He does wingsuit base jumping, and he's way more experienced than I am. He has like 100 jumps, man. That guy is a god. And he took it to Brento this weekend, and I haven't heard from him yet, but I think it went pretty well. I mean, I want him to send a video. I keep texting him. He doesn't reply, but I'm pretty sure it went well, because, he was a master wingsuiter. He did 3 jumps, bro. I could see him flying in the sky like the little dot, and he was a master, man. He had like a Birdman classic. Damn, he was good. He was good. So I'm pretty sure he's okay. But yeah, guys, that's my top 5 canopies to have as a beginner. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and buy my t-shirts. I have a t-shirt that says skydiving, my girlfriend likes me more because I'm a skydiver, something like that. You know, those t-shirts that you see on Facebook. I sell them, of course I do, because yeah. And don't forget that the smaller your canopy, the better skydiver you are. Okay, thank you guys for watching.